After our last call, Sukes and I were both fizzing for about 3 days. We just got so excited and sharing space with Soul Family, talking about these exciting projects. It just sends you into a completely different realm, and you're operating at a different level. And it's just so magical. And I can't thank you enough for providing these opportunities to catch up and speak in this way, which just leads me into these beautiful list of questions I want to cover off with you and share with our audience and our family, who are, the ones that have the shared vision as well, can see the harmonious earth that we're all co-creating and dreaming of. And with conversations like this, it's just further crystallizing that vision and calling forth the materialization of these incredible projects that are just going to help humanity and Earth infinitely. So this is very exciting, and thank you so much. And I guess with that, I would love to invite you both to share a little bit about yourself and how you formed Inphinity Design and your incredible creation and service. It's just extraordinary. So yeah, would you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Of course. I feel like so many of us are having these downloads and transmissions, and we all have our different role to play, so to speak. And, I feel like over my entire lifespan, and I'm sure for Jan as well, that we've been meeting all these different people, learning the things we need to learn. And it's slowly for all of us becoming more tangible, more clear as to, we're remembering why we're here, what we're here to do, what pillar of light we're here to hold. And for us, it really landed that we were seeing all these people with these beautiful visions and these downloads, and they didn't know how to bring them into reality. So many people dreaming about communities and living on the land and living in healthy homes, but they didn't know how to make it happen. And we were like, do you know how to make it happen? And we're like, no. So let's find a way to make it happen. You can probably add more to that.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, as Jodie mentioned, like the all puzzle in divine order, in orchestration, in beautiful timing is just happening. And this search we all have is not just we have, is all of us basically having the same one, as you mentioned. We are here to build this new paradigm right now. So yeah, I think you elaborated very well. I don't want to mention more on that, but it is just the effortless pieces coming together in this journey, and it's how we are finding that infinite design. It is kind of infinite. We don't even know what infinite design is right now. It's just
growing and growing,
ever evolving divine union right now.
But the whole vision really anchored for us actually when we were in Mexico. We were living in Bacalar at the time, and I don't know if you know much about the lagoon there, but there's stromatolites in there, which are how many? 3 billion?
They're basically one of the first living beings on planet Earth when it's formed.
So we were in there swimming, and then all of a sudden it just became so obvious why we were together in Sacred Union and what we were here to create together. So it just, from that moment, it just moved really, really fast. And to be honest, it's been just a really graceful, obvious journey of why we're here, of course, with many stumbling blocks and challenges on the way. But initiations.
Always. Initiations.
Yes. Yes. So, and here we are.
Yes, and here we are. I love the name Infinity Design, because for me, it's the heart center. It's that realm of infinite possibility. And yes, you can't quantify it or put logic or rational explanation around it. And I love it that it's open-ended, and it's just going to be what it needs to be to support a heart-centered future, right? Yeah, it's awesome. What a beautiful story about Mexico. And yes, exactly, when you're in that frequency of letting go and inviting in, calling in that soul mission, things just flow, don't they? It's like, it's so obvious. It was right in front of me the whole time. Like that moment. It's awesome. It's like that surprise and delight, and team of light around us, like, yeah. You designed it, you wrote this. And just like meeting with you guys, it's like we've already discussed these things in the other realms, and now we're just materializing them, meeting and getting excited about these projects, which is just awesome.
Yeah.
So Yeah, you're have you been based in Turkey recently? Is that where you're based at the moment?
Right now we're based in Turkey or Turkey,
Yes.
and this is where we've
Yeah.
actually established our business officially, all the masculine structure side of things, and this is where
Mhm.
Can is from. So this
Yes.
kind of been our growing ground for Infinity. It's been a really safe haven for us and
Mm.
beautiful place for us to create together. And
We are in a city right now called Izmir. Is an ancient 9,000-year-old place.
Mm. Yes.
Civilization upon civilization built on top of that. And
Yes.
this happened to be Infinity baseline right now. And we are
Yeah.
creating more dimensions out of this
Yes.
multicultural place.
I love that. I love that. Yes, I've traveled to Turkey. I've done quite a bit of travel through Turkey, and like you mentioned, the multi-layered historical aspects, that ancient story is extraordinary. And that's why I got excited about where you're based, because as a crystal line node to anchor what you've
Yeah.
created, it's extraordinary.
It
And
is
given
even
what you're sorry, carry on.
apologies for interrupting. It is even so like clear in some physical places that you can see there are some ancient sites in here in one wall, like 2 meters of wall, that you can see 7 different civilization artifacts. Like it's really compressed on top of each other through time, that you can literally see that different civilizations in just piece of this.
Yeah. It's extraordinary, isn't it? Yeah. It's just all there just to take in. I'd love to travel back there and look at it through new eyes too, since going through so much transition and change. I found that fascinating because of the historical and ancient nature of it, and how that might have influenced or told a story to your creative heart about how you approach design and architecture, and how you factor that into your projects, bringing that rich ancient knowledge and what you're picking up off the grid. Is that what you see? Like, is that how you translate the
Yeah.
creative aspect of what you do?
Yeah, that's the beautiful way of seeing it too. Also, we mostly see that we are studying and practicing the language of the creation in essence. And this is how all ancients built their temples, as a resonant field technologies to help their lives, help their living beings, help basically their life forms to enhance, to have a better germination, to have a better well-being. So in essence, yes, we are studying those ancient temples, ancient sites, to remember what it used to be, to living with co-creation. So
Yes.
in essence, we can say that too, if you want to elaborate on more on that, but this what we feel, that this resonance architecture is about to come to our human civilization on this very moment, to
Yes.
get back to his own purpose again, to help us, to elevate us in our ascension process.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's quite crazy, in here in Turkey, there's so many mosques, and when you study them and look at them, a lot of them are shaped like domes, and a lot of people just drive past them and they just think they're just a place that people go to pray and be in service. But there's so much more to these spaces, and no one has any idea of what they're here for, that we're around these spaces. So it's very interesting, and I feel there's such an opportunity to reawaken all of us to learn, because when we study what we see here in other countries, you see so many similarities, and you can probably speak more to that, but it's so fascinating to see different cultures around the world. We're not as separate as, I guess, life and years have made us seem. There's actually so many. You see pyramids in different places. You see these magical antennas that people think are just for decoration, but there's a purpose behind all of it. And that's what we're really passionate about, is studying that and finding ways to bring actually all the cultures together, not just here, but all around the world, which is why we love to travel to different sacred sites and learn.
Yes.
And in essence, basic, that we found that there is no many different things out there. They're just having one wisdom, one information system has been studied in different ways and forms and shapes. Actually, all pyramids, all temples, either it is like a Christian cathedral or is like a Balinese temple. Actually, in essence, they are the same. They are like resonance capacitors to just enhance this life force energy. That's simple as it is.
Simple.
It is simple.
Yeah.
That's it. And
It's complicated. Simple.
that's it. Yeah, through division it was made complicated, and that's what truth is, isn't it? The resonance of truth is just simplicity and perfect design. It's always the simplest solution, the most elegant. Yeah. That is so wonderful. Yes, I've had a big interest in star forts as well. So the way the land has been formed and water has been used to support health and well-being too, just a different resonance approach, but for the same harmonic well-being of whoever's living there. And yes, you're right. We're all remembering and we're all going to recreate it. It's going to be wonderful.
Yay.
Yay. So are there any other sacred sites that come to mind? Because I love the topic of travel, and I know you've done extensive travel, and I find these conversations liberating in terms of, you know, the spirit, like to get out there and explore Earth and what she has to show us and tell us, and what the ancients did. So are there any other sacred sites that come to mind that really kind of put a bookmark within your heart about referencing styles that you'd like to create and design with people that are major influences? Does that make sense? Sorry, it's a very convoluted question, but like, kind of want to get an idea of which of these places are called out the loudest for anybody who's looking to start on a journey to explore.
Well, we met in Bali, which is, they call it the purification chakra of the planet, with 6 different ley lines running through. And that was, you know, we were traveling to different sites and seeing, you know, all the intricacies of the temples and their ways, and they're constantly giving offerings every day. So that was our starting point. And in there, of course, the architecture is incredibly inspiring. Also, the modern day architecture and how they're working with bamboo is beautiful. The different shapes, they're doing a lot of biophilic and biomimicry architecture spaces within there. But then from there, we were guided to go to Mexico, where we studied, and we went to all the different pyramids and all the different temple spaces. And, you know, that was really inspiring for us as well. And here in Turkey, of course, we're seeing so many spaces. I particularly loved Pamukkale, which means the cotton hill.
Cotton hills, you can
Cotton
translate,
hill.
yeah.
And they had mattress bath in there, and we got to see many like ancient burial sites. John, for my birthday, took me in a hot air balloon, and we got to fly over the top of all of it because it's so big. But honestly, for us, I feel like we really, when we started speaking about our future dreams for what we want to create, you know, we want to create a light city. We would love to bring the elements of every different place we've been to. We would love to travel to all the sacred sites, because they all have something special and unique that we can bring together. We want to remove that separation and put all the pieces back together and get the best of the best from everywhere. You know, and in Turkey, we love the luxury, the detail, the beauty. And yeah, do you want to add more to that?
I definitely agree on that. Like, it is, as we mentioned, like either it is like Balinese architecture, Mexican pyramids, or either it is Tartarian basic resonance capacitors that we are seeing. They all serving the same purpose, and that's why we don't have any favorites in that. And of course, we like the forms and the curves in a different way than most people, but in essence, wherever we are trying to understand how they apply in different ways, because sometimes we are seeing that in curvatures, sometimes we are seeing the pyramids, sometimes we are seeing the rigid forms, but in a way that once we see the nature also replicates the same wisdom, same language in different ways and forms. Either it's a pine tree or it's a lush Amazon rainforest. The leaf shapes serve the same purpose in different shapes. So this is what we are trying to also embody and try to study in the best way possible to apply to these light cities that we are right now studying. Therefore, all culture is a very big inspiration for us, and to learn opportunity in different ways of applying those wisdom of the creation.
Yes. Oh, that's so beautifully said, you two. Just the way you speak and the words you choose are just extraordinary, and they speak straight to my heart. I would love to talk to the building materials that one are available at the moment, but also might be coming in the future to help us form these natural creations, these beautiful forms that we see, because they're very organic, aren't they? They hold a resonance structure. It's not straight lines. It's not necessarily, you know, I don't even know how to describe it. Just we like the we want the curves and the mother energy back into our building and architecture, and because that just feels good. And so in terms of building these projects that have this essence, what materials do you go to first to create and work with?
Yeah, first of all, I would love to elaborate on it. Let's understand our current problems. The houses that we live right now, this metal rebars and the concrete Portland cements that we are using in the concrete. First of all, we want everybody to understand that this is a toxic environment. From the paints, from the cement, from the steel, they are basically holding us, putting us in a coma, spiritual speaking. So that's what we are trying to understand, and how we can enhance these structures to serve us. And what we found out is that, for example, steel is not able to transmit this life force energy we call ether. So in those terms, in physics, basically we call capacitors, and that can flow the energy like natural materials from the wood, from a different basically building materials we have now, like basalt rebars that we are finding is way more lighter than steel, 4 times more stronger than steel, but it's a natural material that can flow this energy. And in that terms, in these days, we are living in a very interesting time that every day some new different materials are coming out. And alternatively, that we are finding the different cement mixtures are coming to a place, one of which is the potassium phosphate mixtures that we are studying. Instead of having a negative footprint of the concrete, that we can create the buildings, then when the usage is complete, you can crush the building and it can turn into a fertilizer to the soil. The same materials can have impact of electromagnetic shields to protect us from the negative VMs around us, from all of 5Gs, all of the Wi-Fi signals and everything. We have these natural material sources already available to us. Just nobody was using in the last several decades. But it is just there, just in front of us. On top of that, of course, we have different materials that we are some of them mentioning. There are some different
sugarcane, seaweed
mixtures, from the like sugar cane to a hemp mixtures. But there's so much, actually, so much to explore, and we are just scratching the tip of the iceberg right now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, that's already quite an exciting lineup, though, in terms of expanding into new directions, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger, like you say.
Yeah, and there are people out there that's trying to explore those new materials. They're just been not supported through the industry. And that's why we are trying to find a bridge in between from the investor to find that type of materials to bring on Earth as a living example, so people can see, experience the phenomena, how is to be in a living environment, to a natural home. Because when you are inside, you really feel the difference.
Yes.
Your sleep cycles change, your cellular microbiome change, everything change by just being experienced that.
Yeah. And also with the materials, it's really important to look at the climate and where we are, because we don't want to be importing products into countries. So we, depending on where the project is, we need to do our research. And, you know, every country has different materials based on what's growing. Like in Costa Rica, the sugarcane is really booming. In Mexico, they're using a lot of the seaweed, for example. And yesterday we actually found in Australia there's a 3D printing company. So
Yes.
3D printing is growing now, which is really interesting too.
Which use those natural materials. Like it's a kind of
Mm.
they used to have all of these chemical things, but now they are even applying these natural materials into 3D printing systems.
Yes.
Yes.
Very
Yes, I remember. Yes, I did watch a little video of that where they built like a little dome using like a clay material.
Yeah.
It was like a 3D print. I was like, oh, that's exciting. And I remember there was a company, I mean, over 10 years ago, I think they were doing a seed funding round, and they were producing a ceramic composite to build these dome homes as well. And that was really interesting too. So yeah, I imagine, yeah, that's just exploding. Yeah.
I even
But you
read
got to really look for them.
They're studying the termites, and they're being inspired by the termites for building homes and things too. So they're doing a lot of study just into the world around us, which has been there for before we were even here. And that's giving us guidance on how to create lasting structures too, you know, spaces that can last for generations and generations. A bit like some of, you see the oldest remnants that we have left is mostly the temples, right? So that says something about their methods and what they did. So that's one of the reasons it's very inspiring to study those.
Very, very. Yes, they hold consciousness, don't they? These structures. Yeah. That's wonderful. Sorry, I've got notes and I just don't want to miss anything. There's just so much amazing detail. I would love to talk about your team, the team that you've gathered and that you've created around you to support these projects. Would you mind telling me a bit about them, how you found each other, and the roles that you cover, and what everyone does?
Of course. We're a team of dreamers and visionaries. So that's our number one prerequisite. We need to be able to dream, because a lot of what we're creating, you know, seems like a dream. So that's one of our number one prerequisites. And most of our team are people that we have met on our journey. So people that we've met through the years. We've maybe worked together before Inphinity was informed on different projects. Maybe we were just friends speaking about dreaming this new Earth existence into reality. And we have a few core team members that are full-time with us. And then we also have other more consultants or partners, that we like to call them, that are also doing their own projects in different parts of the world. Because it's really important as an international architectural company to have people in different parts of the world to actually be on the land, to be able to feel the land, to be able to know the local dynamics, and still working in those masculine structures. So we have more than 20,
I would say,
20 people now, I think, and that's growing every day with different people. So yeah, it's very, very exciting. But we have people from different types of architects. We also have engineers. We have regenerative consultants, financial consultants, because there's so many different moving parts when it comes to bringing a project to life. John and I personally, we're the big dreamers. We're the ones that we feel like people come to us with a dream and we bring it into light, and then we find jigsaw puzzle pieces to make it happen. And that's why our team keeps growing, because sometimes new challenges come our way, and then it's like, who can we find to help us to make this happen? So
that's incredible.
It's beautiful. Basically, like it is for our study. Just we are trying to apply this bioarchitecture in all different ways of possible. Even one of our team member architect has a double degree on genetic engineering to understand cellular structure. So we are trying to see this holistic way, how we can see living organisms and how life structures its own self, so we can apply that in a fractal version to our living environments. So this is how we are expanding our team every day, to finding the soul aligned dreamers and visionaries to help together to create these amazing places all together to live in.
Yes, that's beautiful. Yes, it's going to take everybody, isn't it? That's exactly it.
We look forward to when we can all be together, actually, because we have people all over the world. You know? So when if I can only imagine getting us all on a round table together at some point is a dream for us to organize soon, to just put the best minds together. Who knows what we can create with amplifying that energy in physical space together. So
exactly. Yes, I see it as star clusters, and I know it'll happen soon as we gather with the Soul family to pull these projects in and step into our roles to create this. It's horribly exciting, very, very exciting. Oh, I'm about to fizzle out of my seat. Better calm down. My friend Sooks and I sat with you recently, and we went through a briefing process, which was extraordinary. Would you mind speaking to the process of that? Because what you produced for us was a very comprehensive relay of the brief. You call that a rebrief. And what you provided was such a detailed, comprehensive plan, and it was just wonderful to receive. So would you mind taking us through that process, how you work with people who come to you with project ideas, and what that looks like and how that works?
of course. Do you want me to speak?
Yeah, sure, please.
So we're finding actually so many people in these days are in a very similar position to you guys. Like, so many people have this dream and they're like, how do we make it happen? And, you know, it's a very feminine feeling, you know, it's like feminine ideas, and it needs to be anchored into the more of this structure. And I think Jan and I have found a way to have with that balance to bring that into light. And these first steps are so critical to really define, like, what is the vision, why is it here, and how can we make it happen? You know, getting an investment is probably everybody's biggest challenge with these ideas, because it's coming from a place where money probably doesn't matter, right? And
yeah, exactly.
we of course have dreams to not need money, but we're still in this world. We've still got one foot before we, you know, and fly somewhere else. So we've really been studying that first step, and this is what we love to do the most, actually, is to sit with people, to guide them, to listen. We love to listen to their ideas, and then to find ways and what is going to be the best opportunity, what is going to be the best path. Because we get some people coming to us that are like, let's build a light city, and we're like, okay, but let's start with something small. How about we build, you know, a small retreat center or something first? Because otherwise investors aren't going to invest in a light city with flying cars and all of that just yet. We need to show them they need to experience what it's going to be like first. We need to help awaken people on this planet right now, that everyone wants this, but they don't even know what it's like, or they think it's crazy hippie movement, you know, like, oh yeah, that sounds interesting. So we need to help them to feel that. So our first process is solidifying that vision, and then creating documentation. Sometimes it's images that really showcase that vision. It could be creating a brand identity. We love actually that naming process and coming up with stories. I'm a writer, and Jean is incredible with the visual element. So like extracting that idea and that download, because we're all having a different download. So we use what we've been receiving, and then with our methodology as well.
Yeah, so basically,
so much to talk about.
Yeah, there's so much covered, but we can see that the first phase is let's say, the defining the vision,
The DNA.
crystallizing the whole vision basically, and then once it's defined and we go into like a project DNA phases, we go to conceptual design phases. To in each step we define more details. We go from higher scale to just smaller scale, to just design every bits and bobs in all of the parts. And it is a complex process. Sometimes it takes a long time, but it is the most essential thing to first define the vision, and which is the most exciting part for us, because there's so much more right now happening, and we are getting very excited every time we are meeting with people like you guys. It is a fantastic time for all of us to be on Earth right now, to see all of these projects into their fruition, to just collect them and share with our family.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, beautifully said. That's the download I've been getting too, to echo your words about starting small. And it was the healing centers essentially, because to hold anchor on these node points to expand and amplify that particular frequency, combined with life force technology to provide healing and well-being. to uplift everybody's frequency. So yeah, we're starting with baby steps, I feel, just to anchor that in and then expand out. Yeah. Which is really exciting, like you say. But yes, we're right at the start, and it's almost kickoff time. Well, no, it is. Sorry,
It's
I don't
time.
mean almost.
It's already,
It is. We've already started it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Would you mind speaking to projects, or one project in particular that you have worked on and brought to fruition? Because I know you've got an impressive lineup, a very extraordinary portfolio that speaks to your skills and your dynamic skills and abilities. So would you mind picking one and speaking about it?
Well, there's actually a project we're working on right now that's one of our most exciting projects to ever kind of come to us, that's feeling the most like it's moving. And that's a project in Costa Rica called Abundancia with our partners New Earth Development. And we're so excited about this opportunity. We're starting again with a small center that we've started working on, where we get to test different building materials, different methodologies, and we're going to be doing experiments inside of different dome shapes, different homes. And for us, this is like a dream come true. They're our dream partner, so inspiring to create with. They kind of complement us in areas where we don't have the strengths, and they're really good in like financial management, getting investment, and they're experts of regenerative materials. So this for us is a project that's moving really beautifully and gracefully, and we're designing many different options right now. So we'll be building different different domes, different tiny homes, larger homes, and it will basically be a center for people to come and experience. They can stay there. There'll be workshops, events to come and see all the different options available, because right now that it doesn't exist. And then from there, there'll be a 300 home development built where people can come and live. So they'll get to go to this village, choose which style of home, materials they want to have. And that for us is our dream project right now, because sadly, so many of these visions, they're not ready. There's something that we as a human race, I feel, hasn't been ready to fully anchor these visions in. It's only really been since this kind of Aquarian shift that we've noticed so many more people are remembering. So for us, a lot of the projects that we've done up until now are kind of in hotels and residential. So we're only now kind of getting this opportunity and starting to see that this is actually possible, you know, which is why we started Infinity in the first place.
Yeah, and beautiful to say. Yeah, we would love to now shift also our energy from the more residential to a more wellness areas and spaces. This is where we believe like this is the next phase of our focus is gonna be, and serving into masses in every way possible. We are basically quite excited to. So yeah, we are welcoming all the basic direction in that sense in our presence, and we are bring our antennas into those type of projects to create more.
Yes, more wellness. I've been a detox coach before meeting John, and I was, you know, part of many retreats, training. So I've got this other side of the coin that's kind of really passionate about wellness, trauma-informed spaces that we're weaving into our methodology. So wellness for us is what we're most passionate about, and reaching as many people as we possibly can, which is why we're kind of shifting more away from that residential market into like wellness hotels, retreat centers, because there people can come and experience this different type of architecture, and then it can spread out more. So
yeah, beautiful. That project sounds like such a gift to humanity, to explore these materials and to share them that way. I'm really grateful, because you know, so the ones that are coming up behind, like me, will know what to use, given that these have already been built and shared. Yeah, so that's the essence, and that's the frequency we're operating on, which is just amazing. Yes, I was gonna expand into the crystal cities of light, because so many speak of it, but yes, it's going to be a journey. And I remember, I think you wrote a post on social media about the crystal cities and maybe a briefing around creating one, but Yeah. Do you want to expand on what perhaps what your vision is, like how you see things might flow into that, the building of that or the creation of it? Yeah, I'm just looking for the high level vision, like what you both see.
Yes, of course. Well, we definitely feel it's not the time yet. You know, we were even approached by a company in Vietnam that had 600 hectares and wanted to build a light city, which was rejected by the government. So we can see there's still a lot of work to be done in educating, you know, the leaders, the people that are calling the shots and the information, which we're seeing is slowly being broken down. So I guess the way that we see it kind of being brought to light is through experience, as we mentioned before. So I don't know when this is really going to anchor in. I do know that the new children coming to the planet are demanding it. They're not able to actually live in these other environments, and they kind of 2027, I think my friend told me, was like this big surge of a new kind of race of children coming from somewhere to bring another influx of something.
Yes,
I know you have a daughter, right? That
yes, yeah, 7-year-old. Yep, she's ready to shift. Yep, she's done with school. She's like, no, can we do something else now? I'm like, yeah, babe, let's do that.
Yeah.
So I feel it's probably going to start coming with that new generation that's coming forth that will also inspire us and show us the way of what we need to do. It's hard to say, to be honest. You know, we're all having the same download. We know that's what's going to happen. It's kind of rebuilding the light cities. Actually, it's not something new.
No. Yeah.
So I can't answer the question.
Yeah, no, it's beautifully said it because it's open-ended. Yeah. Yeah.
There is no like question of is it gonna happen? That happen. This is happening right now. Just waiting the most optimal environment to have in the masses. As Jodie mentioned, like it is slowly and slowly, step by step, we are having experience in some small scales. Once people experience that, then we can move forward into creating bigger scale implementations. We have beautiful friends already developing this different models, different systems, from transportation to like a societal dynamics. There's so much right now is happening already. Just through the grace of time and the right perfect moment, we are seeding those experiences into their perfect season to bloom.
Yes, beautifully said. We're relearning how to slow down and to take measured steps, and that came through really clearly at the end of last year for me personally. I was just reminded to slow down, and it's going to take methodical, well-planned steps to achieve this. And this is how we're going to be doing this, and it's increments into the heart and sustained determination and holding that vision, making it clearer and clearer. And conversations like this are just so powerful for that reminder, aren't they? Because they reinforce that knowing and that deep, deep, deep understanding of what's happening and the legacies of love that we all came here to build and create for the generations to come, which is just powerful when you really stop and think about it. And now we're going to take time to really, really ponder that and factor that into everything that we create. It's a very considered process.
It's a very exciting time for all of us. It is happening right now, and we all can see it in our blood right now. So it's a very exciting moment. It is like the world that we are seeing right now is not going to be the same in like few years from now on. So let's post our seatbelts and ready for the Earth version 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. Humanity 2.0 too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's beautiful. Well, I've covered all my questions, and you're just such a delight, and the way you shared all your beautiful wisdom and knowledge and your service to help us all bring in these beautiful creations. And I can't thank you enough for your time. And it's just always such a blessing to spend time and share energy with you. And I'm really grateful, and I love you both very much. And I wish you all the best for the move to Australia. And I look forward to catching up with you when you're over there. And
we'll be neighbors.
Yes, you'll be much closer to visit, and we can kick off these projects that we're been talking about. So can't wait. So thank you both very much.
Yeah, we're delighted to also share space with you, expand this beautiful conversation. This is all what we need to just tap into, unlock the memory by just speaking, sharing, feeling. Yeah, already doing enormous work. And thank you so much for opening the space, sharing this beautiful moment with us. We are quite excited and delighted to
Yes.
have possibilities of co-creation together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Well, thank you both very much.
You.
And enjoy the rest of your day, evening. I can't remember what the time difference
The
is.
day right now, just starting.
Yeah, just daylight. Right. Okay. Well, sending you so much love. And
Bye-bye.
yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.